right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Our severe weather threat is increasing for Monday. That's our next weather alert day. What an enhanced risk means for us and our main severe weather threats ahead.
A local company slammed with thousands of lawsuits.
I think weeds are misunderstood. Weeds are our friends. Roundup is the enemy.
Why customers are saying they're sick of weed killers and their growing concerns around a newly proposed state law. But first, St. Louis bar owners say getting a liquor license used to be cumbersome.
Cumbersome? Yeah, that's an understatement.
How they're reacting to a new booze bill that could make pouring drinks a whole lot easier. We want to thank you for joining us at 10 tonight. I'm Brent Solomon. New tonight, city leaders weighing in on the decision that they just voted on. 5 on your side's Annie Krall has that reaction and what local bar owners are saying tonight.
Sipping margaritas on a Saturday in St. Louis may eventually be thanks to this Board Bill number 60, allowing restaurants to apply for a 90-day temporary liquor license rather than the lengthy petitioning of neighborhood signatures. Instead, going through city hearings and approval from the excise commissioner, avoiding the cumbersome process Cristina Robles, co-owner of Padrino's Mexican restaurant, faced in 2021.
That was when I was told by the personnel in excise, it's not going to take weeks, it's going to take long times.
Whether serving vodka, gin, or tequila, local business owners tell me that this new bill here in St. Louis will help new restaurants as well as bars turn a profit faster.
To get people to open their doors right as their liquor license should be ready, that's like crucial.
After the temporary license expires, owners can get a full license with good standing. Mayor Tashara Jones saying in a statement Saturday, "I'm glad we can make it easier for restaurants and bars."
And thinking about what a quick timeline you're on, if you're a business owner and entrepreneur in general, but if you might be from a minority community where you don't have an influx of cash, if you're operating a restaurant, a lot of your profits and revenue come from your ability to sell liquor. It is not food sales alone that allow you to keep your doors open.
The bill passed Friday 9-3. Alderwoman Kara Spencer voted no, pointing to the city's new hiring freeze to cut down on labor costs.
Are we really going to allow anybody to come in and get a liquor license with no neighborhood involvement or input whatsoever? I am not convinced that we are going to be able to deal with problematic liquor licensing because, frankly, we haven't been able to do it at all.
It'll be put into action after the mayor's signing, potentially this year. Reporting in St. Louis, Annie Krall, 5 on your side.
And when it comes to violence at bars, the city can suspend a liquor license for 58 to 72 hours. Any establishment found serving alcohol without a license won't be eligible to apply for another one until 3 years later.
This is like the first beautiful day that we've had in a while. There's so many different people, so many beautiful scenes. And I just feel it brings me to peace.
St. Louis reaching summer-like temperatures today. Question is, will Easter stay sunny? Meteorologist Gary Frank here with the Weather First forecast.
Yeah, good evening, Brent. It was very nice today as we worked our way close to 80 degrees. I think we're even warmer tomorrow, and that's where we're going to see as we start to feel a little bit more like Easter as we work our way in the last few days of March. Quiet still in St. Charles. Temperatures still at this hour are above our average high at 67 degrees, 68 in Forest Park. It is mild. In fact, as we've had this front that I've talked about, it popped up a few showers in Mount Vernon. Most of them are out of our area, but it's not out of the question that we'll continue to see that. The main story is Monday. That is our severe weather risk. We're under an enhanced risk for severe weather. Most of that is in central Missouri, but some of it does clip our western areas, and that's something that we'll look at specifically. But temperature's not going to drop a whole lot the next several hours. A little bit of a rain chance. I don't think it impacts you, but the severe weather setup for Monday. Severe weather ingredients are coming together, but the types, timing, and specific location remains in a little bit of a jeopardy. And we're going to talk about some of that, time it out for you, and show you what Monday may look like. And, of course, have your Easter holiday forecast as well.
Weeks after a now viral fight that put her in the hospital, teenager Kaylee Gain is making progress. In a statement, her family says she's been able to go on short walks and is having limited conversation. The family is also calling for assault suspect Marnice DeClue to be charged as an adult. They cite alleged screenshots of deleted social media posts that they believed Decloux joked on about joining mixed martial arts or the WWE right after that fight. Well, 5 on Your Side looked into those claims and can verify Decloux did not make those tweets. At the time posts were made under her name, she would have been in juvenile detention where no phones are allowed. For more information about that claim, you can check out our article in the As Seen on TV section of KSDK.com. Today, people applying to become police officers in St. Louis County went through a round of tests. The department says it's about 100 officers short, so they streamlined the testing process to help applicants move forward. Training doesn't stop for new officers after they graduate.
If you see an officer in a car with another officer, typically it's someone that is being trained. Our academy is 6 months long, and after our young recruits graduate, then they will spend several weeks on field training with a veteran officer to learn more about how we do things once we're out on the road.
The department is also looking for security officers, public safety dispatchers, and clerks. Well, a proposed state bill could grant pesticide manufacturers immunity for failing to adequately warn consumers about potential health risks. As senior investigative reporter Paula Vassan reports, that's sparking debate. She uncovers what you need to know.
Leon Smith looks at weeds differently nowadays.
I think weeds are misunderstood. Weeds are our friends. Roundup is the enemy.
He's talking about what's considered the most popular weed killer on the market, a spray he believes caused a scary diagnosis back in 2010.
They took some blood tests and then they discovered, oh, this looks like cancer.
It was non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, which attacks the immune system.
What I went through was heartbreaking.
Now he's one of tens of thousands of cancer survivors nationwide, suing the agricultural biotech company Monsanto, the maker of Roundup. Bayer, with a hub in St. Louis, acquired the company in 2018. The overarching complaint: the company failed to warn about health dangers.
No corporation should get away with anything like that.
But a newly proposed bill in Missouri could give protection. Missouri is now one of 3 states where bills to shield pesticide makers from lawsuits have been filed this year alone. Environmental advocates and attorneys say the goal is to protect the company from billions of dollars in legal bills. In response, a Bayer spokesperson told the I-Team they support the legislation because the future of American farming depends on it.
At the heart of the issue, a fierce debate over whether weed killer is dangerous, specifically Roundup's active ingredient, glyphosate. The World Health Organization has linked it to cancer. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency has said it's safe when used as directed.
It's why you won't find the word cancer on the label. Bayer was not available for an interview by our deadline, but a spokesperson sent us a statement that said in part, Bayer stands behind the safety of our glyphosate-based products, which have been tested extensively, approved by regulators, and used around the globe for 50 years.
It doesn't protect Missouri citizens,
says St. Louis attorney Tony Simon. He represents Smith and about 1,000 other people who've used Roundup and have non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
What change do you want to see?
I think they should put a warning on the product that tells people use of this product increases your chance of getting cancer, just like the cigarette companies.
If passed, Missouri Senate Bill 1416 would let the EPA have the final say on pesticide label warnings. Critics argue the agency should not be trusted. Legal sources say an appeals court ruled in 2022 the EPA did not follow its own cancer guidelines when it found the main ingredient in Roundup did not pose a risk. The agency was ordered to redo its analysis.
So this entity that's supposed to be protecting all the consumers didn't even do its job.
And he calls the agency too slow.
And just a few days ago, the EPA finally officially banned asbestos in the United States. Asbestos is banned in over 50 countries, and it took the EPA 30 years to ban it in the United States. And our position is the EPA can't even do its job right.
So this cancer survivor says it's his job to sound the alarm.
And we can move forward on making the world better.
Environmental advocates fear laws giving pesticide manufacturers immunity would allow them a free pass. They say it will lead to no warnings about other dangerous chemicals. Bayer stands by the safety of Roundup and the credibility of the EPA. For the I-Team, Paula Vasan, 5 on your side.
Still ahead.
Happy birthday! Happy birthday!
A little boy's birthday wish comes true. Why North St. Louis is stepping up for Ace. Even the Easter Bunny can't escape inflation. Increased cocoa prices now hitting the holiday. And look out below. It's not just prices that are flying high. St. Charles County's unique take on an Easter egg hunt.
The warm front that's lifted north and got us to near 80 degrees today, over 80 degrees tomorrow, will be a focal point for storm development on Monday. That's why we're tracking severe weather. We'll highlight that risk and what it's like the rest of the week.
Well, North St. Louis came together to celebrate a little boy with autism. His name is Ace. His mom says he's never had a birthday party before due to the sounds and noise. But this year, he wanted a Batman party with his friends and family. At the last minute, people started backing out, saying they couldn't make it. Ace's story was shared on social media, reaching thousands. And today, people showed up in droves, including police officers, to wish him a happy birthday. Ace turns 4 on Monday. A beloved Alton restaurant closed its doors today. My Just Desserts has been open since the 80s. Back in 2018, Yvonne Campbell took over the shop. She died a few years later. The store was passed on to her sister, Evelyn, but things became difficult as she also worked as a full-time nurse. According to their Facebook, they were able to sell all of their desserts before closing up shop.
Well, we're still focused on the second half. It's after you get back from your Easter plans, back to work and school on Monday. A severe weather risk is in place, what that means for us and when we can expect that to settle in.
AT&T is investigating a leak that put more than 70 million current and former customers' data online. The company says the breach happened about 2 weeks ago and includes Social Security numbers. That data does not seem to contain any financial information or call history, according to the company. AT&T is reaching out to affected customers and resetting their passcodes. Tomorrow is Transgender Day of Visibility. To celebrate, the Metro Trans Umbrella Group is inviting people to gather for food and games. It's tomorrow from 4 until 8:30 at their community center on Oregon Avenue. The annual Day of Awareness started in 2009. Well, Easter baskets may get a little lighter this year. The price of cocoa is getting higher. Americans are expected to spend around $180 per person this year, bringing the national total to around $22.4 billion. That's according to the National Retail Federation. Nearly $3 billion of that will be spent on candy. Chocolatiers say cocoa costs are on the rise due to supply issues.
It's a classic climate change issue of crazy weather. Too wet, too dry, and therefore crop yields just shrink. We get very much impacted by, the spot price. So when it doubles, we have to double, or increase our price.
Experts say the current surge in cocoa prices may lead to more expensive Halloween and Christmas candy later in the year. Chocolate prices aren't the only thing soaring ahead of the holiday. You got to check this one out. Easter eggs went airborne today over in St. Peter's. First Assembly Church had helicopters swoop in for a new spin on an Easter egg hunt before kids rush the field to snag some of the goodies. Families could also enjoy carnival rides there, food trucks, and obstacle courses all throughout the day. Let's get to your weather first forecast now. Meteorologist Gary Frank is here, and I tell you what, Gary, what a lovely day just to be outside.
Yeah, very nice. We've had a small handful of them, but it just feels right because I think everybody's here with their family and friends, and just, we woke up so warm. And, part of that, the reason we wake up so warm the next few days is part of our pattern change, which will lead to severe weather. So we'll enjoy it while we can as we look outside downtown, pretty quiet. You'll see on our radar where we have a few storms that have popped up near Perryville, Bill, Mount Vernon. I talked about this, joined you at 5 and 6 about the possibility here. I want you to see where we have those different wind directions, and that's where that front's kind of settled in, and it's provided maybe a little bit of a push for some of these storms, and overall, that's what we may look at. And if you've stepped outside, you've noticed the wind is in a different direction. Although it is light, it is now out of the north-northeast in many cases where it is calm. We're right around the front. We're in Sparta and Mount Vernon. You see those different wind directions, and that's what we can look at downtown as well. Officially at the airport right now, our wind is out of the northeast. It's 68 degrees. We got to 79. That's almost 20 degrees above normal. So not a record, but still very warm from top to bottom. It was a top 5 warm morning and afternoon. So other than a spot storm that I mentioned, we're still going to drop down into the mid-50s. We do fall down just a little bit because we have that wind shift, but the main story for us tomorrow is the severe weather risk. As that continues to lift north, we'll be on the warm side of it. That means it's dry, it's pretty quiet. I think there's a possibility that a few areas may deal with some stronger storms in Pike County, north in Litchfield, but the main severe weather threat with a slight risk is well to our north. So what happens here? As we watch those same wind arrows push out of the south, they'll finally get more uniform. That brings more clouds, more wind, and then eventually some clearing. And I think the sun's out. It is warm. It is dry. Look where the storms are. They're to the north. So I think Sunday overall is pretty quiet. It's going to get us back into the upper 70s and low 80s in the afternoon. We'll see that uniform wind direction out of the southwest eventually. And we'll keep a chance for storms in, but I'm not really sold on it impacting us, but I just want you to prepare yourself. We talked about this severe weather risk on Monday, and areas from Herman, Bowling Green, Rolla, Cuba involved in that as well. It's all because of not only this system, which Corey will talk about, that's impacting the Cardinals game, but as this gets in, goes in the main flow, it's going to intensify our wind. You're going to see that here specifically as we have our wind aloft. That's going to strengthen this whole thing and enhance it and at least increase our severe weather threat. It also interacts with a lot of moisture, and I'll tell you what, that's where the severe weather threat will be. We'll start off with a few showers maybe in the morning, but the second half of the day, I think this is much, much later that these storms, you'll look at 5, 6 o'clock, it's going to be a while. So a few showers and storms early as that main front moves in after sunset, and all types of severe weather are possible here. So as we look at 76 degrees, that's our next weather alert day. That's the day that we'll look at probably overnight, bring us our best bet for any rain.
All right, my friend. Will you keep us posted?
Yes, sir.
Thank you much. We've got Corey standing by now with sports.
I tell you what, I know I sound like the sportscaster who cried wolf coming out here every Saturday telling you how much we got to cover, but this is the big one. We had perhaps more teams to cover today than I think we've ever had before. Stick around, a loaded sportscast is coming your way.
This 5 on Your Side Sports Report is sponsored by Telly Tire and Auto Centers, driving your way since 1942.
In just about a week, we will all be getting ready for the total solar eclipse here in St. Louis. Yes, it will be an unbelievably rare event, but the St. Louis sports scene tonight could just about rival that uniqueness. All of these teams were in action today. How often does that line up? I'll tell you when. Never. The biggest game was in Boston. Larry David was in the house and would probably say it was a pretty rough day for the Illini in the Elite Eight against UConn. I'm not allowed to show you the highlights, and if you're an Illinois fan, you likely don't mind. The Huskies had a 30-0 run in this game as they blow out Illinois 77-52 to reach another Final Four. Here's Coach Underwood on how he summed up the season.
They took a coach on a ride that was so fun. It's the funnest group of guys I've ever been around to coach. Today wasn't our day. We're a game short of the Final Four. Getting to the Elite Eight is not something that we're gonna just forget about and blow off. That's quite a successful season.
Now our 2 games in progress. Lance Lynn's first start back with the Cardinals comes in Yoshi Yamamoto's first home start with the Dodgers. Lynn in trouble and the first base is loaded, no outs. Here we go again, right? Wrong. Lynn battles back to strike out the side and strand the bases loaded. In trouble again in the second, and Lynn strikes out Shohei Ohtani to strand 2. You bet he's pumped up. Then we found out Dodger Stadium does have a tarp. It started pouring. Have you ever seen a rain delay in LA? Well, we had one tonight. When they resumed play, the Dodgers got on the board. Right now, LA leads 2-0.
This 5 on Your Side St. Louis City SC coverage is sponsored by Together Credit Union.
Better weather in Utah tonight. Undefeated City SC taking on Real Salt Lake. How about a win tonight instead of a draw? It didn't take long to get the scoring started. Indy Vasilev, he gets the goal 2 minutes in to put City up 1-0. Salt Lake has struck with the equalizer in the second half. Right now, this game is tied at 1. The Blues have to keep winning to keep those slim playoff chances alive. They welcome the worst team in the league to St. Louis tonight in the form of the Sharks. Disastrous second period for the Note. Philip Zadina, 1-0. A few minutes later, Mikhail Grenlund, 2-0. Then the St. Louisan Luke Cunnin is going to make it a 3-0 game. Blues got booed off the ice. They lose 4-0.
The reality of it, I don't have an answer. Just it can't this time of year of the position where we're in and with our team on where we are and how hard we fought to get to this position to let one slip against a team like that.
Now to those cardiac Battlehawks who kicked off their UFL season today against the Michigan Panthers. Let's start in the fourth quarter. 15-9 Michigan. McCarron has to lead a final drive. Fourth down, game on the line. Marcel Aitman, what a catch to keep things alive. And then that connection, teams up again on fourth down for a touchdown. Tie game at 15. STL goes for the 1-point conversion to Sutherland, and they are going to get it. Battlehawks up 16-15. But Michigan got one last chance to drive, and kicker Jake Bates drills a 64-yard field goal for a Battlehawk heartbreak. Bates had not kicked a field goal since high school. Battlehawks lose 18-16.
Listen, they make a 64-yard field goal. Hats off to them. I mean, that's a hell of a kick. I thought, when we needed it most, offense put drives together, but we made the plays when we had to, and we just got to be better next week.
You think this week was busy. Cardinals, Battlehawks, City SC all in St. Louis next Saturday.
You're going to have a lot to talk about then. We thought you did tonight. But you said since high school.
Yeah.
You had
Yeah. This came up.
Not how you start, it's how you finish. That's all of our time, folks. Have a good one.